Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Kathopanishad, chapter 1, part 2, verse number 25 we have to begin with. But we'll look at the verse number 24 just to, where are we? Just to be in touch with what we were doing last week. The last week's verse was, the last verse was about who is not qualified to know the truth. Who is not qualified to know the self, the Atma. Appa, who is not qualified to know the Adhyatma, Adhyatma Tattva?
Yeah.
Who is not qualified? That is the question. That is verse number 24.
Okay, that's the one we were talking.
Na virato duscharitat, na shanto na samahitaha, na shantamanaso vapi, prajnane nainamapnuyat. Here it was told that the person, na virato duscharitat, the one who has not given up doing papa karma. What is pap? How is pap done? Pap is done by manasa, vacha, kaya. So who is thinking bad about people, who is imagining that other people are bad, who is speaking bad about other people, and who is doing actions by the body and harming other people. So always, sometimes we are very good outside, but in our mind, we always are judgmental about other people, that I think this person has done, if like when I was in ashram, I used to think, everyone, why are these people coming to ashram? What do they want from me? What do they want from ashram? Then I started changing. Okay, they don't want anything from me, I want. Who is the plumber? Who is the electrician? Who is... use them. See? So same way, we also think that every person who comes into our life is there to manipulate us, is there to take advantage of us, is he or she or anyone there to take the better of us? No. Our mind should be completely unclutched from all these thoughts. Our thought should be, all this is Ishvara, and whoever whoever the Ishvara brings in front of me at any given moment in my life, I will, whatever the Ishvara prompts from within in the correct manner, without going against the dharma, I will follow that. So in that there is no thought that this person is bad or this person is good or this person is trying to take advantage of me or is this person is like this or that. We get out of that type of thinking, manasa, vacha, kaya. And so, na virato duscharitat. Duscharita means character. Duscharita is bad character. Na shanto na samahitaha. Duscharita na shanto. So, such a person who is of a bad character, who has got bad behavior outside by manasa, vacha, kaya, such a person can never be quiet. Prerequisite for knowing the truth is a quiet mind. So one who is continuously judging the world, continuously seeing enemies in the world, continuously, this is not good, that is not good, that is this, like this, space-time objective, this place is not good, that place is not good, this time is not good, that time is not good. Those who are very, very dharmic people, they get caught up in this. How is the vibration of this house? Good or bad? Gaye kaam se. Then those who are time, is this a good time to begin the journey? You know, nowadays in India, on the TV, all these things are coming. That between 9 and 10 a.m., it is the good time to get out of the house. What is the time? Between 9 and 9:47 a.m. If by mistake you kept 30 seconds over, now bad is going to happen to you. And many people I have come across, I was wondering why they are not leaving. I am ready, everything is, they are waiting for that TV thing, correct time. And they become dependent on that. See, all this we must take out of our system. Every moment is good, every time is good, every space is good, every person is good. Our mind must see goodness everywhere. Our mind must see goodness everywhere. And that goodness is only, your vision to see goodness everywhere is only possible when your mind is quiet, when your mind is not judging the time-space objectivity. And here it says, na shantaha, na samahitaha. An unquiet mind can never become equanimous mind. Quietness is required. So first was from too many thoughts to no thoughts. From too many thoughts to no thoughts. From manifestation of thoughts to non-manifestation of thoughts. That is called Shanta Manasa. Activity, no activity. Activity in the mind is called thoughts. No activity in the mind is called silence. Now what is the third word? Na samahitaha. What is na samahita? Samahita means the one who is beyond activity and no activity. Sama. Sama means equanimity. Equanimity means that mind which is not influenced by activity or no activity. When I was ironing the clothes today, what is cloth? Cloth is that which is not affected by crease or no crease. समझ गए अभी? Mind is that साक्षी मन अगर चाहिए, equipoised mind, balanced mind, mindfulness हम बोलते हैं. It is not that, mindfulness के आगे है ये. But what is that? Wrinkle, if there is a wrinkle in the mind or no wrinkle in the mind. Another words for it, whether there are thoughts in the mind or silence in the mind, you are maintaining your poise. Now, if a person has not come to this, so all the three, a person who is doing wrong, manasa, vacha, kaya, is not qualified to know the truth. A person who has got no quiet mind is not qualified to know the truth. A person who is not equanimous, balanced, he is not able to know the truth. They are not qualified. Na shanta manasa vapi prajnane nainamapnuyat. So such a na shanta manasa va api, so such a person who is not shanta manasaha, such a person who is not able to take all the opposites without reaction, not take the life without a comment, not take the life without in the name of response. I am responding. No response, no reaction, no commenting. So then samahit is, equipoise is possible. Then mind is going to be quiet. यहाँ पे जो word किया इन्होंने use, न शांत मनसः. So न शांत मनस is the opposite, that the shant manas is not there. Such a person is not qualified for such a person, the Atma Jnana, the prajnanenaina prajnanenainam apnuyat. So such a person is not qualified, does not have the knowledge, is not available to the Atma Jnana. And this is what we saw in detail. I just covering up a little bit of point, but we saw it in detail. Suppose we have some time through some practices, through some sadhana, we have succeeded in extracting ourselves from this illusion of doing something. We think by doing we will be able to realize the truth. No. All doing or not doing is in the mind. I'll repeat because it's the appropriate verse. Few verses before we saw anyatra dharmat, anyatra dharmat, anyatra asmat krita kritat, anyatra bhutat cha bhavyat cha yat tat pashyati tadvada. What is that which is other than dharma and adharma, righteous and unrighteousness? What is that which is other than cause and effect? What is that which is other than doing and undoing? What is that which is other than past and future? This is the question Nachiket asked to Lord Death, Yamraj. This is what we are looking at now. He is answering. He says, if anyone is caught up in dharma or adharma, they cannot know the Lord or the divine. If someone is caught up in cause and effect, because I did puja, so I am now the house is blessed. Because I got out of the house at the right time, so my work will be done. If the cat crosses the road, my work will not be done. And etc. There are so many things like this. So if you are caught up in this, you can never come to know the Lord or the divine. So what was the first one? If you are caught up in dharma and adharma. Dharma here means righteousness, rituals, etc., etc. You are holding on to the scriptures. Appa just asked me, Swamiji, what is the difference between Adhyatma and Swabhava? Adhyatma is for that moment, he knows the answer. But for that moment, for him, Adhyatma was scriptures. Because that is how normally it is taken. Adhyatma Gyan kahan pe hai? Shastron mein hai. So you take the Shastras as the Adhyatma and think that the Shastras are going to make you realize. They are not going to make you realize. So what is Adhyatma? Adhyatma is not the Shastras. They are only the guide to the true Adhyatma. So what is Adhyatma? Your consciousness. And what is Swabhav? Swabhav is conditioned consciousness based on your karmas, etc. Why did you do karmas? Because you thought that you are not the Adhyatma, you are the body, you are the breath, you are the mind, you are the past, you are the future, you are the dreamer, you are the waker, the sleeper. So you collected some data. Because of that, you are doing the karmas. Because you want to be complete by possessing the world. And you can never possess the world. See? So that becomes your swabhav. Maybe a person is, by swabhav, he is lazy. He says not doing is the answer. Another person by swabhav is rajasic. He keeps doing, business, work, job. Some of them are, there's one lady, she keeps cleaning the house. The husband, if he drops little bit, he had it. Workaholic. But that is not Adhyatma. A sattvic person, maybe he is continuously chanting the mantras, reading the mantras, understanding the scriptures. And in his own mind he is thinking, I am sattvic, I am ready for realization. Why is it not happening? But you are locked into studying. You are locked into words. You are locked into objectivity. All these obsessions, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. So when we approach Upanishad or any other scripture, we must not be obsessed by it. We get obsessed with scriptures in the initial stage. Why? We don't want to be obsessed with laziness. We don't want to be obsessed with wanting to do good for the world. We must do it, but not as a kujli, as a itch. So you keep holding on to the scriptures. But once you have held on to the scriptures, now you understand what the scriptures are saying. Scriptures are saying, you are that which you are seeking. Now, that answer you are not going to get in the scriptures. You are listening to the story, Anyatra Dharmat, Anyatra Dharmat. Truth is that which is beyond good and bad, beyond righteousness and unrighteousness, beyond dharma and adharma. And you're thinking, kahan pe hai bhai, kahan pe hai? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it in the temple? Is it in the pilgrimage? Is it in the Mahatmas? Is it in the statue? Is it in the house? Is it in my children? Is it in my husband? Is it in my wife? Is it in my mind? The scriptures are only for your mind, not for you. So we lose the plot. We get caught up in the scriptures here. So we have, what scriptures are telling you? That you are the answer to yourself. And where are we seeking the answer? Outside in the scriptures. So scriptures are called Adhyatma because they bring your attention to the Adhyatma. But they are not the Adhyatma. At a physical level, they are the Adhyatma. But are you only physical? Or are you subtle and causal and spiritual also? So as long as you are physical, subtle and causal, you are in Swabhav. When you go beyond, then you are spiritual. And spiritual is the Adhyatma. Everything else is Swabhav. So when we study scriptures, even here, right now what I am telling you, when I am saying that doing bad deeds by Manasa Vacha Kaya, you are not qualified. Understand, you can never do bad deeds, but you have not realized that all the bad deeds are done by the ego which does not exist. Can the mind do bad deed? No. Can the eyes do bad deed? No. Can the body do bad deed? No. Then there must be a doer, no? You look for the doer, you will not find the doer. You will only find Adhyatma. This is the secret of our scriptures. This is the secret of ourselves. But scriptures are only guiding us towards that. So in this manner, when a person has somehow worked himself to work through the illusion of the world, illusion of the Manasa Vacha Kaya, illusion of the waker, dreamer, sleeper, and is finding, I'm not affected by what mind is thinking or not thinking. I'm not affected by what senses are seeing or not seeing, hearing or not hearing, etc. I'm not affected by the deeds. I am the watcher. He is undisturbed, unaffected, non-reactionary to what is happening at the Manasa Vacha Kaya level. Then other difficulties. Then difficulties don't come from outside, they come from inside. Desires pop up, fears pop up, wrong conclusions of life pop up, old vasanas pop up. You don't know where these desires are coming from. And there also we must remain unperturbed and maintain the poise. And therefore, the calmness of mind is very, very important, because only when the mind becomes calm, the integration comes about. Integration of what? Manasa Vacha Kaya. What you think is what you speak, is what you do. This synchronization, we think something, like an air hostess, I'm so happy to see you. Inside her mind it is going on, again I have to bloody serve this fellow, again I have another flight to take, again I have to spend 2 hours and listen to all their tantrums. I want this drink, I want that drink, I have to get this. My God. All this is going on in her mind. We're here, hello sir, welcome. This is in disintegration. This is not synchronization. We are also like that. Inside something is going on the heart. You are the most dearest to us, you are the most respected for us, and inside something else is going on in their mind. What हम घर पे बात कर रहे थे ना, दिखाने के दांत और चबाने के दांत और दिखाने के दांत और. You understand? The teeth you show are different and the teeth with which you chew are different. So, one reality outside and something else inside. Such is a disintegrated person. This will not lead to synchronization or harmony. Harmony in speech, deed, speech and thoughts must come about. And that comes about when your mind is quiet. Shanta manasa. It must be the mind must be in equilibrium. It must not, in Bhagavad Gita, so many places it has said, samay krutva, sama is that equanimity, sama is that equilibrium. Equilibrium is, the pendulum is moving this way, that way, but there is always one point where it is not going, oscillating at all. That point is the equilibrium. You find out, are you the one who's oscillating, or is the world going day, night, day, night, day, night? Are you the one who is in the center, unmoving, or the waker, dreamer, sleeper, waker, dreamer, sleeper, waker, dreamer, sleeper, coming and going? You are not going, you know they are coming and going. You come to this conclusion, the breath is coming and going, but you are always the same. You are in equilibrium. You are not coming with the breath, you are not going with the breath. Are you coming with the thought and going away with the thought? No. So, whatever is coming and going, let it happen. It's not, you did not create it. Then who are you? You are the one who is in equilibrium, who is unaffected by coming and going of thought, coming and going of speech, coming and going of breath, coming and going of action. See, this every moment we have to recognize. Then we become available to the truth, Paramatma. Otherwise, tu, मैं, kabaddi chalti rahegi, it will never click. So this is the state which is known as the state of equilibrium, what we told, na samahitaha. That is the state of, so a person who is not in equilibrium, the person who is not integrated, the person who is not synchronized, who is not aligned, the one who is not shant in his mind. Understand, shant mana, only in a quiet mind equilibrium will be possible. And once equilibrium has been experienced, you recognize you are in equilibrium, then whether the mind thinks or doesn't think, it does not matter. Understand? And such a person, such a seeker, then is able to surrender completely. And this is not logic. This is not understanding. Equilibrium is not an understanding. You have to get there. You cannot say, I understand what agitated mind and what quiet mind is. No, you have to experience the quiet mind. You are imagining that there is a quiet mind, but you have to do it consciously. You know quiet mind when you go to sleep, but you have to catch the quiet mind, observe the quiet mind, living this life in the wakefulness. Similarly, when the mind is becoming quiet, it will lead to the samahitaha, it will lead to the equanimity. That equanimity should not be an intellectual concept or intellectual understanding. It has to be our direct experience that I am undisturbed, because that will start expressing in your daily life. Otherwise, why did you not give, you gave everyone filter coffee and not gave it to me? Why you gave me tea? We can find 100 reasons to pass comment. A person in equilibrium does not get affected by anything that is going on in the world. In other words, anything the senses are interacting with. In other words, anything that the mind is thinking. That is equilibrium. That will lead living in equilibrium, a non-reactionary life will lead to surrender, will lead to absorption, will lead to abidance. And abidance into what? The mind will abide, it will go back, it will be absorbed, or it will recognize that it is of the nature of infinity, it is the nature of pristine, immaculate consciousness. And that Atman is complete, there is nothing lacking in it. And it is only possible not by puja, not by dana dharma, it is not by building temples, it is not possible by going to pilgrimages. This is the outside world. It is not possible by taking 10 times bath every day. By body cleaning the body also it is not possible. It is not possible. Continue. It is not possible by even watching the breath. It is not possible by watching the mind. Because if you are watching the mind, your attention is on some objectivity. It has to surrender, it has to be absorbed. Excuse me. So it is only possible when...
You want some water?
It's okay. It is only possible that Atman can be known, a person can abide in the self, in the reality, only when, firstly, do whatever is required to bring a calm mind. From calm mind, migrate to equanimous mind, mind in equilibrium. From that equilibrium mind, samahitaha, automatically the surrender, etc., or abidance or absorption into the self comes about. That you cannot do, it happens. And in this way, the verse 24 was na virato duscharitat na shanto na samahitaha na shanta manaso vapi prajnanenainamapnuyat. Now, today we get into the 25th verse. Where is it? 25th verse. 25th verse is about the same thing. Here it says, you can repeat after me, Yasya Brahma cha Kshatram cha, Yasya Brahma cha Kshatram cha, Ubhe Bhavata Odanaha, Ubhe Bhavata Odanaha, Mrityur Yasyopasechanam, Mrityur Yasyopasechanam, Ka Ittha Vedayatra Saha, Ka Ittha Vedayatra Saha. Together, Yasya Brahma cha Kshatram cha, Ubhe Bhavata Odanaha, Mrityur Yasyopasechanam, Ka Ittha Vedayatra Saha. Here it says that I will continue. No problems. Whatever they have to do. So, if this is the case that you had to become quiet in the mind, then have an equanimous mind, and then alone absorption into the self or surrender in the self was possible, or knowing the self was possible, how can one come to know as to where the self is? Yasya Brahma cha Kshatram cha. What is the location? Where is the place? Where is the Atma? I have got an equanimous mind, okay, but now whom do I surrender to? Where is the Atma? This question can come in the mind. तो यहाँ पे बोलते हैं कि how can one know thus as to where the self is? It is a rhetorical question where Yamraj is telling. These are the words of Yamraj. How can one know this, where the self is? For which both the Brahmana and Kshatriya become food. What is this Atman? Atman is that reality is that, divinity is that for which Brahmana and Kshatriya both are food. It eats away both of them. It eats away both of them, Brahmana and Kshatriya. We will explain that. And for which death takes place, the place of a curry. So this is a joke, sort of, in a lighter mood. This verse has been said by Yamraj to Nachiket. And so here he says that he for whom, understand it in this way, he for whom Brahmana and Kshatriyas are both food, and death itself is the spice in that food. That is Atman. So that means Atman is not affected by death. Atman is not affected by whether you are a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahman is not affected by whether you are knowledgeable or you are ignorant. It does not matter. Atma is self. Oh, I don't know about Upanishads. Will I be able to realize? You are still qualified to realize. Oh, I know all the Upanishads. Why have I not realized? Both are food for knowledge and ignorance. Both are food for the Atman. This is the picture which was shown in 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where the Vishwarup Darshan was shown to Arjuna. And Lord showed how everything was created out of him, everything was maintained in him, and everything was absorbed in him. And this continuous cycle is happening from infinite heads of his. So many people are born, all the lokas. And Arjuna became overwhelmed. He became afraid. Ki, Hare Baap Re, I can't. For a few seconds he saw, and then he said, Bhagwan, I can't handle this picture that you are showing me. Please come in your Saumya form. Please come into your Chaturbhuj form. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma pakad ke ab mere samne khade ho jao. I can't handle that form. It is too confrontational. It's too confrontational. But is that Vishwarup Darshan not happening to you? Every day it is happening. Every moment is happening.
In TV.
No, in you. In you continuously. Are your every vision you are illuminating, then you're seeing something and then not seeing it. Then you're seeing something else, then not seeing it. Continuously creation and uncreation. You're hearing, then not hearing. Then hearing, then not hearing. Again same thing happening. Every day dreaming, not dreaming, dreaming, not dreaming. Is the entire creation in the dream not born from your mind? It is correct, isn't it? So your mind is the Vishwarup at that moment, out of which the whole dream world has come. Space, air, fire, water, earth, mountains, rivers, past, future, everything is coming out. So in this manner, but this is only, don't understand that the Atman eats the Brahman. हम बोलते हैं ना ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय वैश्य शूद्र, तो यहाँ पे लिखा है ब्राह्मण एंड क्षत्रिय. यहाँ पे दो ही वर्ड लिए हैं. ब्राह्मण मीन्स नॉलेज, बिकॉज ब्राह्मण्स परस्यू नॉलेज एंड क्षत्रियस परस्यू एक्शन. And many places they say action is not possible in Atman. Action is for the ego. Action is for the actor. Actor is an imagination. Ego is an imagination. Ego is a ghost. How can that ghost be in the Atman? But we say, here it is saying that not only knowledge but also action. Both are eaten by the Atman, meaning without Atman, knowledge is not possible. Without Atman, action is not possible. But Atma is independent of action or of knowledge or action. This is what it's. So these words sound very simple and funny, but uske piche, behind it, the depth of it is this. So Brahmins are pursuers of knowledge. Kshatriyas are pursuers of activity, action. When it says Atma is that who devours knowledge and action, Brahman and Kshatriya, it means he devours knowledge and activity. In other words, it means it supports knowledge and activity, but Atman is not affected by knowledge and activity. Water supports ocean and wave, but water is not affected by the presence or absence of ocean or presence and absence of wave. Like that we have to think. Thoda good hai. It's deep. So in this way, the Brahman and Kshatriya here, they are not denoting the personalities of people, but it is the spirit behind which, and both of these spirit, this just like you call yourself I, he calls himself I, she calls herself I call myself I. Are there many eyes? I is only one. Vision is the same principle in behind all the eyes. The fire, whether it is in our house or in your house or in the forest, the principle of fire is the same. The light, whether there are about 15-20 bulbs here burning, illumined, but the electricity is the same behind all of them. Exactly the same way, the Atman is the same behind all knowledge and all action. Again, go back to the example which I was telling you. The mind is the same behind all the things in the dream. You don't get different minds. Each person in the dream is thinking, my mind is separate to this mind and I'm going to do this. So many things you are doing in the dream or other people are doing in the dream. But what is the common factor there? The common factor, is it the space in the dream? Is it the land in the dream? Is it the sun in the dream? It is the mind. The mind is the common factor. That mind is supporting the entire activity and knowledge of the dream, but it is not affected by the activity and knowledge of the dream, isn't it? Same way. If we can come to this point in the waking state, we are in the waking state right now. If we can come to this point and this poise inside, that we are not affected by any knowledge in this world, nor by any activity in this world. This is very important point. Otherwise we get lost in knowledge. So, who can know the truth? He who is not supporting all knowledge and activity, but not affected by knowledge and activity. He absorbs it. He is the devourer of all knowledge and activity. That activity is another word for activity is Shakti. Another name for the activity is Shakti. Is that Shakti not in the Brahman? Is the potentiality not in the water to become wave? Potentiality is always there. Is there no potentiality in your mind to express as waking, dream and sleep? It is always there. Similarly, that Atma which is complete. Some people say that this Atma, how can there will be activity in this mind? No, there is activity. It's unmanifest. But the potentiality is there to manifest. Knowledge is there, but it is unmanifest. But the potential to manifest as knowledge is always there. Now understand what is the difference between knowledge and activity. Activity is there in the world. There is activity going on at the body level. There is activity going on at the breath level. There is activity going on at the mental level. Who knows this? Who knows all this activity? I. Correct? This I is the knowledge. And what he is observing is the activity. Is that not your truth? You are the, where are we looking for knowledge? In the world. But you are the knowledge. I is the knowledge. Subject is the knowledge. Object is the activity. See, that Shakti, that potentiality, she expresses as two. And what is that? Knowledge and activity. Just as Parabrahma Paramatma, he expresses two. What is that two? Shiva Shakti, or he expresses Narayana and Lakshmi, or he expresses Ishwar and Prakriti. These are different names given to it. See? So that duality is brought about by, is the expression of Shakti. Because duality is expressing knowledge and Shakti and activity, does not mean Atman has become less or Atman has become more. Atma always remains the same. Without the Atma, knowledge cannot be. Without the Atma, activity cannot be. But knowledge cannot come to know Atma. Activity cannot come to know Atma, because Atma is self-existing. It is self-knowing. It cannot be known. If you want to use another way of looking at it, all knowledge is in the mind. All activity is in the, there is activity in the body, there is activity in the senses, there is activity in the breath, there is activity of thoughts. But all these activities, who knows? The mind knows. How does it know? Again, through thoughts. There is a knowingness. But all this cannot, who knows? You can put it another way, I know, the subject knows. But all these are supported by whom? This I also comes and goes. I know Shankar, I know Manju, I know laptop, I know Rajendra. Every time I'm making a knowledge, I know. So many times I is born. Who knows that so many times I is born? Someone is there behind, no? Who is the real you? Because you cannot be the one who is coming and going. You don't feel you are coming and going. When I say, I know Manju, and after that, that thought goes away, then I say, I know fruits, I don't feel I have gone away somewhere. Manju has gone, replaced by fruits. Fruits have gone, replaced by table. Table is gone, replaced by Shankar. And with each one of them, the I thought is also changing, but I don't feel that I'm changing. I don't feel I'm coming and going. I don't feel I came with the I thought. I don't feel when the I thought is gone that I have gone. That fellow is the Atma. And to be that, we need to quieten the mind. So here, Yamaraj is saying, he is taking a pun that Atma is that which devours the knowledge as well as the activity. Human being is only caught in activity. Some people are caught up in knowledge. You can say you are busy running business and expanding your empire. I am busy in knowledge. तो वो क्षत्रिय का हो गया. To do good to the society, build temples, do this. What am I doing? I'm not building temples. I don't want to do good to anyone. What am I doing? I'm only talking and contemplating on the scriptures. So this could be knowledge, and that could be knowledge about the world. I'm talking about knowledge about the Adhyatma. But both these knowledges about the world or Adhyatma, they cannot make one realize the truth unless and until we don't accept that I am that. I am that which I am already that which I am seeking. And in this manner, let's read this Bhashya. Bhashya is Shankaracharya has written, आपके लिए, Shankaracharya has written commentary on every mantra. Adi Shankaracharya, you know, you have heard his name. मैं उनको तो जो 5 शंकराचार्य पीठ है ना, तो उनके जो जिन्होंने सेट किया था वो थे आदि शंकराचार्य in 8th century. So his commentary is there and he says here, thank you sir, but enough. He says, यस्य आत्मनः ब्रह्मक्षेत्रे सर्वधर्मविधारके अपि सर्वत्राणभूते उभे ओदनोऽशनं भवतः स्यातम्. यस्य आत्मनो ब्रह्मक्षेत्रे सर्वधर्मविधारके, those people who are the knowers of all dharmas, meaning what is right, what is wrong, they know everything. They have studied the scriptures, they have studied the Puranas, they have studied the Manusmriti, they know all the dharma and they also know what is adharma. They know everything. There are people, there are many people like that. तो यहाँ लिखते हैं यस्य आत्मना ब्रह्म क्षेत्रे सर्वधर्म विधारके अपि सर्वत्राण भूते उभे ओदनोशनम भवता स्यातम. So those who know everything, and after knowing that, some of them, they are knowers of all the knowledge and they declare themselves or they feel they have to protect this knowledge. Nowadays you are seeing a re-emergence of Desh Premi, in India. We have to re-establish our Hindu culture. Hindu culture can never die, but we have to re-establish it. And self-appointed protectors of Hindu religion are being born today. You understand? So, some of them are fake, but many are there who are well versed in the scriptures. They have powers also, they have siddhis also, but what are they caught up in? They are caught up in the action of re-establishing dharma. They want to teach this dharma to all the world. Teach this dharma to all the world. So what happens? Activity. Where is their attention? On the world. Where was it before? On the scriptures. They refined themselves, they learned everything, but instead of that learning applying on themselves, they are applying it on the world. They are teaching the world that, hey, you should do this, you should do that, you should establish the dharma. But they misunderstand that dharma is the Atma. Dharma is not the world. Dharma is the Atma. This is where they make them. So this is the verse which is saying. So though both these people, if you want to take it, that these are the people, one is the Brahmana who is the knower of the scriptures, and Kshatriyas are the protectors of Brahmanas. They are the protectors of the world. Both these people, Odanaha Ashanam Bhavata Syatam, both are food for Atman. Here it is told. And Sarvaharopi Mrityuhu, what is that? Sarvaharaha api Mrityuhu Yasyaha Upasechanam Ivaudanasya Ashanatve Ashanatva api aparyaptaha tam prakrita buddhir yatha ukta sadhana rahitaha san ka itham evam yathokta sadhana anivaityar iti arthaha veda vijanati yatra sa atmeti. So here he says that, and also the death can devour everything. There is nothing in this creation that is not susceptible to death. Death can be one day that we are going to die. Death is waiting. Nowadays, all equipment is already coming with a expiry date. That expiry date is death date, isn't it? everything in this creation that is created is coming with an expiry date that it will die. The mountains will die, the rivers will die, the countries will die. So also, our every breath that we take, it dies. Then the next breath begins, isn't it? Everything that we are seeing, every time I blink, the vision dies, there is blankness, then again the vision begins. Every thought that comes in my mind, it appears, then it dies. So, everything in this creation is at the mercy of death. That's why it is told death is the greatest teacher. And death is not an event, death is a principle. When you live it as a principle, you will not be afraid of death. But here it is told, even that death which devours everything is devoured by Atma. So, because what are we studying? Immortality. What are we studying? What is that which is beyond cause and effect, doing and undoing? What is that which never becomes less or more? That is the Atman. It is that which devours the knowledge, which eats the action, it eats death also. Meaning, death has no impact on the self, Atman. Now, if we are afraid of death, then if you say, oh, ab to buddhe ho, now I am getting old, now I am going to die one day. So, what have you considered yourself? An individual. For individual, death will devour you. But before death comes, like not Nachiket, what is his name? Parikshit. He had 7 days to live. He was given the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam by Shukdevji Maharaj. And what happened? He listened, but he did not create information knowledge. He did not create traffic jam. He listened, applied on the self. Listened, applied on the self. And at the end of the 7 days, when the Takshak Nag came, it was a curse which was getting fulfilled. He came to bite and kill Parikshit, but when he came and bit Parikshit, he bit the body. But Parikshit had already realized. Parikshit had already realized. What was realization? Before it was Parikshit, now Parikshit has become Param Brahma Paramatma. He has realized that he is the spirit. Spirit is infinite. Atma is infinite. And where there is infinity, there is no individuality. So we must live our life not at specific level. Our knowledge is specific. This is table, this is laptop, this is camera, this is Manju, this is apple, this is pineapple, this is banana. Everything is specific. This is my house space, this is my bedroom space, this is my toilet space, this is my mind space, this is my vision. My vision is getting bad. I need my glasses. Where are my glasses? Specific knowledge. What is general knowledge? Bring your attention. The space inside the house and space outside the house is the same space. Put your attention on the general space. The mind principle is the same mind in all the minds. What will be the mind of the God who is expressing through all the bodies? Take that position. So leave the space. What will be the disposition of water who is not obsessed with specific wave and specific ocean? Ocean, the individuality, ocean, the Lord. So all Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh have got no impact on the Atma. They are devoured by the Atma. They are existing in the Atma. Atma and Paramatma are not separate. Brahmatmaikya Bodh. Atma and Brahman, Paramatma, are by nature one. Inside, house space and infinite space by nature are one. The water in one wave and the infinite waters are one. This the infinite knows. But the wave does not know. So put your attention instead of specific knowledge, shift your attention to general knowledge. What I say, instead of living at specific knowledge, I live by the principles. Principles are always, gravity is general principle. For everyone it is applied. Vision is general principle. It is not one per person, it is the general principle. Electricity is general principle. Whether it is in Australia or India or America, is the same electricity. It's not Indian electricity is different to American electricity is different to Australian electricity. It's the same. Australian fire and American fire are separate. No, general principle. Fire is same. Another general. Fire always move upwards. General principle. It never moves downwards. So come to general principles. So what is that general which includes everything, excludes nothing, but retains nothing? That is Atma, that I am. घूम फिर के take a big roundabout and come back to self. But these are all triggers. All these verses are triggers to come to. Yamraj is explaining to Nachiket. How old is he? 8-year-old. How old are we? 80-year-old.
Nearly.
Huh? So here it says that Sarva Haropi Haraha Api Mrityu Yasyopasechanam. For everything in this world is like a rice. It is like odanam. It is like food for Mrityu. But Mrityu itself is food for Atman. This is the statement made here. In other words, Prakruta buddhi yathaha ukta sadhana rahitaha san. Meaning, for Atma, even death, even if it devours, eats the death, he is not satisfied. Why? He is ever satisfied. He is by nature satisfaction. So here he says that Atma ka ittha ittham evam yathokta sadhana aniveti iti arthaha. So this Atma, which is of this nature, which devours knowledge, which devours action, which devours mrityu, death, which is not affected by any of these three, who can come to know this Atma? Who can come to know? Is there anyone who can come to know this Atma who is with a normal intellect, with a normal buddhi? Here when it says Prakruta buddhi yatha. Prakruta buddhi means one who is thinking with this intellect of his, this is world, this is waking, this is dream, this is sleep, this is TV, continuously thinking about relations and possessions, they're continuously thinking about survival, they're continuously thinking about everything else in this world except Atma. Can this a man with a common intellect, a basic buddhi, that buddhi which is oriented towards the world, can that ever come to know the Atma? It is not possible. But if he thinks in this manner, how we have told you, that the knowledge as well as activity have got no sway over Atma. He knows both of them, but he is not affected by them. He who knows Atma in this manner, and if he does proper sadhana in order to know the self, then he will be able to Veda Vijanati Yatra Sa Atmeti. And he who attempts to know, very important point, such a person who has understood till now what we have told you, Yamraj is telling Nachiket, Such a person, if he attempts to do the sadhana according to the Vedas, meaning Upanishads, to know the Atma, then he will abide in the Atma. Otherwise, he will not. If he is worldly oriented, he cannot come to know the Atma. Is there a balancing act that I will keep one foot in the Atma and one foot in the world? Not possible. Why? If you put one world is a river of your life is continuous. It's a continuous flow. And on a river, if you have two boats and if you put one leg in one boat and the other in other boat, what will happen after some time? They will drift apart and you will be torn. It will be a painful existence. And that's what many people, good-hearted people, well-intentioned people, they feel the pain. Why the world is like this? Why bad people are successful and good people are suffering? This question comes only for that. Why? We know what goodness is, but we don't go and be the goodness. Our one foot is still in the world and one foot is in the divine. But we have not realized the divine. We are happy that there is divine, but we are not recognizing that divinity is our nature. Divinity is not above the sky. World is like this. World is good and bad. World will be death and birth and death. World will be up and down. World will be inside and outside. World. All these verses came before in Katha, in this Upanishad. World is all opposites. Victory, defeat. Bhagavad Gita says, Sukha Dukkha Samay Kritva Labha Labho Jaya Jayo Tato Yuddhaya Yuddhasva. So remain undisturbed by Sukha Dukkha, victory, defeat, gain, loss. Tato Yuddhaya. This is your war. What is the war? Not to be disturbed by Sukh. Means don't get excited by Sukh. Don't get depressed by Dukh. Don't get Yahoo! Victory. Oh, poor me, defeat. No, don't. Remain in the center. That was the equilibrium which we are talking about. You understand? So in this manner, Veda Vijanati Yatra Sa Atmeti. He who knows the self. Self is Upanishad. Upanishad is self. Before a verse also came, Upanishad is Om, Om is self. So he who knows the Veda, the way, either you can take it objectively, through the Vedas you know the self, because Vedas without any ambiguity present the truth in the knowledge form to you, you have to just apply it on yourself. Be that. Or recognize whatever Vedas are saying, they are talking about me alone. So he who knows the Vedas in this manner, because this is a Veda, this is Katha Upanishad. Upanishad is a Veda. Only such a person can come to know the Atma. So, iti Srimad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Govinda Bhagavat Pujya Pada Shishya Puja Pada Shishya Srimad Acharya Shri Shankara Bhagavataha Krutau Katho Upanishad Bhashye Prathamadhyaye Dvitiyavalli Bhashyam Samahaptam. So, when we live in this world, continuously there is a fight. There is an argument, discussion, debates about what? Truth can be known only through knowledge. Only by jnana, truth is possible to be known. Other people say, no, in this world, action, karma is important. And there is a continuous argument, debate, discussion, and sometimes they fight with each other. What? Karma is more important, other people say knowledge is more important. And this goes on and on and on and on and on. But here what is being told? The Atma, it eats both of them. And you are that. So be very clear that, so don't get caught up in knowledge, don't get caught up in action. Both are important. Without action you cannot purify. Action is important. As long as you are thinking, you are a doer, action is very important. Whether you do that action at a body kaya level, whether you do that action at speech level, or you do that action at thought level. This is Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para. So this is the process of purification. So action is important to purify, to make yourself Shuddha. Then when you come to the mind, you have purified the mind. In that purified mind, the knowledge automatically reveals itself. Or while you are on that process, as activity at the gross level and subtle level is becoming less, the mind becomes susceptible to knowledge of the scriptures. You ask me, I never studied scriptures in my life, but I did my sadhana. From that sadhana and japa, and that purified, and it automatically led me to the ashram to study scriptures. When I went to the ashram, whatever Swamiji was teaching, whatever the scriptures were teaching, it was like fish to water. I could understand it without any deliberation, without any confusion. Every time it was like, I understand. There's nothing not to understand. But that comes about only because of purification. See? So, first do the action, various actions, gross, subtle or causal, purify. In that purification, as a result of that purification, knowledge comes about. It may be objective knowledge. Don't be affected by that knowledge. Or if that knowledge is about the Vedas, then when you study the Vedas, apply it on yourself. Be that, and that is the connect. That is the what you call. That is the understanding. That is the way we have to approach. And now in the next part, a beautiful, the whole Bhagavad Gita is based on this particular verse, not this coming verse, but afterwards it will come. And that is, you see the chariot of Arjuna, you see the Krishna, you see the Arjuna, you see the 5 horses, you see the reins. And where is the Krishna sitting? Krishna is sitting at the seat of chariot here. Who is the master of the chariot? Is it Krishna or Arjuna? Master of chariot. Arjuna is the master of chariot. Now that particular idea, that complete picture, through that picture came in Bhagavad Gita from where? From this Upanishad. Because the Lord is alone the giver of the Upanishads also. So he has given that example here, and through that he is going to explain who is this Jiva, who is this individual. Arjuna is the individual, but who is this individual? That individual, his body is the chariot, his horses are the senses, the reins are the mind, the intellect is where Krishna is sitting. Krishna is the intellect. So is our intellect dedicated to Krishna, or is our intellect dedicated to the world? If our intellect is dedicated to Krishna, thinking about Krishna, jap kar rahi hai continuously, then the power to control the horses will be there. If the intellect is dispersed, then the power to control the horses will not be there. And that is when depression comes. When too much data from the senses is coming in and the mind is not able to handle the data. Because nobody has trained it. School system has not trained it. Parents have not trained it. Society doesn't train it. He has not learned, or she has not learned, when going through life, how to assess those experiences. And this breakup of personality comes about, just like Arjuna's breakup of personality happened in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So how do we take this whole analogy of the chariot and put it to understand the Jiva, the Arjuna, and eventually come to the divinity that we are, will be the topic of the next third part of the first chapter. We'll look at it in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om, everyone. I am at Shankar and Maithili's place. Some of you know them. They had come from Sydney for one of the retreats at the Fiji temple few years ago, right?
Yeah.
18 or 19, I think. So, and Hari Om by them to you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Sorry for the noisy disturbance.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.